3 weeks after the rebel invasion of Freetown, the Nigerians retook the capital. More than 5,000 people were killed in the offensive, and 5,800 homes and buildings were burned down. As the rebels fled into the mountains, soldiers started searching for suspects. This young man was accused by his neighbor of burning down her house. Nigerian soldiers interrogated, charged, tried and convicted him on the streets of the capital. Many other suspects were rounded up in a similar way. According to witnesses, hundreds of suspected rebels were summarily executed by soldiers.
Anybody who was around to have witnessed all the violence perpetrated, whether you're a victim or just a witness, it's affected everybody.
Shortly after the January offensive, President Pauw embarked on a mission to bring peace to his country. In May, the warring factions agreed to a ceasefire. On July 7, a formal peace agreement was signed in the Togolese capital of Leone. The agreement calls for, amongst other things, the disarmament of rebel soldiers, a United Nations peacekeeping force, and democratic elections. The two rebel leaders, Fodi Sanku and Johnny Paul Karoma, have recently returned to Freetown. An uneasy peace has settled over Sierra Leone. The prospects for peace in Sierra Leone rest in the hands of two men, Fodi Sanku and Johnny Paul Karoma. The one is a former military dictator and the other a warlord. They are today effectively vice presidents of Sierra Leone. They live in state mansions and are protected by the very Nigerian soldiers they fought so bitterly only a few months ago.
Believe you me, the next general election, we're going to win it. We've won already.
And if you don't win?
We're going to win.
Do you want to be president of Sierra Leone?
Well, as of now, I'm preaching peace. I'm talking about peace. And I think you are talking about politics. I'm not talking about politics. I'm not talking about war. I'm talking about peace.
I say without Fodi Sanko, no peace in this country. So as long as I'm in Freetown, there is peace.
And if you're not in Freetown?
There is war.
The Lomé Peace Accord calls for the disarming of all rebel soldiers. But across the country, reception centers, set up and controlled by the United Nations, are standing virtually empty.
Okay, the form. Yes. What about this?
By the beginning of this week, only about 1,000 rebel soldiers had given themselves up. They were mostly members of Johnny Paul Karoma's AFRC. While Fodi Sanku is preaching disarmament in public, he told us a different story.
Have you given an order like that?
Oh, not yet. You need structures according to the Lomé Peace Accord. When these structures are in place, then we can disarm.
But according to the peace accord, you are supposed to disarm your soldiers.
Me? No.
It has been relatively quiet in Sierra Leone now for several months. Most roads have been reopened and people can get their products to the markets again. But the Lomé Peace Accord is under serious threat. There are reports of heavy fighting between the rebel soldiers of Sanku and Karoma in the northern town of Makeni. According to the reports by human rights organizations, villages have been attacked and looting, raping, murder and amputations continue.
We are defending the peace process, so the people should not worry.
How serious are the problems in the north?
It is very, very serious.
No, that is fabrication. Makeni is quiet as Freetown. There is no fighting there.
There was a message that we monitored that the RAF personnel are moving towards Makeni, 500 armed men with one armored car and one twin barrel.
All is fabrication, lies to tarnish or destroy the image of the RAF.
Maybe Corporal Sanko should pay a visit to the Connaught Hospital in downtown Freetown. Ward 3 bears testimony to the ongoing atrocities in Sierra Leone. These are civilian casualties who have been brought from Makeni to Freetown. The Leone Peace Accord also guarantees blanket amnesty for all soldiers and rebels, even those who committed the worst atrocities. The victims are supposed to forgive and forget, but for them, there will never be justice.
I mean, imagine you've lost your limb. You've been disabled for life. There is no way you can cope, especially in a very difficult world like ours.
Yes, I will forgive them, but I will not forget. Yes.
Their future is extremely poor. Poor in the sense that, unless they go out begging, otherwise there is no way they can get a job or survive.
And I forgive them. Now, for now, I forgive them.
Do you have anything to ask for forgiveness?
Forgiveness for what? To make a revolution? Your ancestors made it in America, in Britain, in Europe. Yeah.
The victims of Sierra Leone are of all ages and from all sides. In an office in Freetown, Catholic priest father Theo Momo debriefs 2 boy soldiers. He runs a center for these children.
You could tell me now what is your age?
Me? I'm 10 plus.
Okay, Siko is 10 plus.
I can't go to the amount.
Okay, so he killed so many that he doesn't even know the amount that he killed.
I bought those.
Okay,
I go attack like.
Father Theo was the man who found Sharif Koroma, reunited him with his brother and sent him to school.
Give me boost.
Okay, he was a spy, a boy sent as a spy. Now what now you want?
In a 5-week period in September and October, Father Theo registered 411 boy soldiers who had come to Freetown. There is very little treatment for either the victims or the perpetrators. This is where the worst victims of Sierra Leone's civil war are incarcerated. The Kisi Mental Hospital in Freetown is the oldest in sub-Sahara Africa. Almost 200 victims of war are held behind the high walls.
Conditions at the moment are very desperate. Desperate in the sense that, we have very many psychiatric patients because of the war, and the facilities have dwindled.
There is virtually no medicine, little food and few staff. People are chained to their beds to prevent them from escaping. Dr. Naheem is the only local psychologist or psychiatrist in the country.
Well, the patients we have here are the chronic, helpless and hopeless patients who might be dangerous to society. These are the ones who keep here.
Sharif Koroma is lucky that some of his family are still alive and that he goes to school. But he is also haunted by his memories.
The picture of violence stays in your memory for the rest of your life. There is no way you can get it off your memory. You can bury it in your subconscious, but it's alive in you all of the time until you die.
As Sierra Leone approaches the millennium, peace is balanced on a knife edge. But while leaders scramble for power, life has to go on. In downtown Freetown, a traditional wedding takes place. The groom is not present as he now lives in America. His brother stands in for him. A few months ago, a celebration like this was unthinkable.